but Tom Brady in the clutch. Did the GOAT clinch the MVP with his overtime heroics yesterday against the Buffalo Bills? Dallas got a dub after Mike McCarthy's guarantee, but it wasn't because of Dak Prescott. Can Dak still lead the Cowboys on a deep playoff run playing the way he did yesterday? And the reigning AFC champs look like future AFC champs. The Kansas City Chiefs made Nick a very happy and probably a very rich man yesterday. Good morning. Welcome to First Things First. It is Monday. We've got a fantastic show for you today. So much football to get to. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wild still getting dressed. I love it. Nick, did the Chiefs put the rest of the league on notice blowing out the Raiders yesterday?
Well, the league should have been on notice, but I am very excited for about 31 minutes from now for Kevin Wildes to explain why a 40-point victory wasn't that impressive. Tune in, America.
Sure.
Can't wait.
Will do.
It's probably going to happen. Probably going to happen. All right, well, let's start with the crazy one down in Tampa, Bucs Bills. All Tampa most of the game. Buffalo down 3 scores to start the second half till Josh Allen led a big comeback, tied the game up, sent it to overtime, and then Brady did that. Brady did that. Rashad Perriman on the crossover, 58 yards to the house for the win, 363 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and 1 beautiful pass in overtime to win it courtesy of Tom Brady. 33-27 was your final. A tough loss for Buffalo after fighting hard to get back in this. Here was Josh Allen after the game.
I know the score is what the score was, but I'm damn proud of our team and how we fought in that second half, and you know that's who we are.
Incredible amount of heart and guts that they show, this team, Josh included, right? But all of them. Again, we came up short. They made one more play than we did, but I love how the team fought.
All right, Nick, I'll start with you. Sounds like glass still half full for 7-6 Buffalo. Should Josh Allen and the Bills feel good about the overtime loss?
No, absolutely not. That's back-to-back just laughable weeks of press conferences by the Buffalo Bills. What are they? Are they at the Kevin Wildes, leadership seminars where it's all about moral victories and finding the silver lining? Yeah, taking shots at you, buddy. You're the moral victory captain, and that's what they're talking about. You were down 24-3. You were down 24-3 again after a mortifying loss. And you now 5 times this year have had 1-score games, and 5 times this year have lost them. 4 in a row, by the way. Ball in Josh Allen's hands, chance to deliver a victory, and he either literally or figuratively falls flat on his face. Against the Titans, he literally fell flat on his face at the goal line. Against the Jags, he fumbled. Monday night, 2 times in the red zone in the 4th quarter to beat New England, couldn't complete the pass. And then yesterday, you're right there. You've clawed all the way back. You're down 3. There's less than 30 seconds remaining. You're inside the 10. Nope. And how much faith does McDermott have in him? Do they go for it on 4th and 2? No. Kick the field goal. Maybe we'll win the coin toss. You do win the coin toss. Promptly go 3 and out. You're 7-6. You were the Super Bowl favorites with the MVP favorites 2 months ago after beating the Chiefs. Since then, you're 3-5. You have 1 good win all year. So no, Wildes, they should feel terrible. They should feel terrible. No, they should feel like a mediocre football team.
You know what? Broussard, I think they feel like a dangerous team, and not dangerous like the Packers are a dangerous team. Dangerous like someone who's wearing a virtual reality headset, like they're in their own world. If they think it was a moral victory, then it was. This whole year, they've been living in this alternate dimension. They beat the Chiefs. They thought they won the Super Bowl. Then they went 3-5 of their next 8 games. They got embarrassed by the Patriots. They were asked, hey, were you embarrassed? And they're like, what? And McDermott didn't even want to give Belichick any credit. And then yesterday, it's worse than a moral victory. Josh Allen makes a slip up here, Broussard. He thinks it was a real victory. Take a listen.
Hindsight's 20/20, and we can't change anything. But I've said this before, but I think this win or this loss can really pull a team together.
Hey, you know what, Broussard? I'm the moral victories guy, because here's why. After the Patriots lost to these very Bucs, I was at Gillette. You guys were like, oh, we're going to torch Wilds. I was like, no, that was a moral victory. Patriots are going to get right after this. And what happened? The Patriots won 8 of their next 9 games. Their only loss was to the Cowboys, which, asterisk, was also a moral victory. So I know it's easy to make fun of the Bills, but I believe in moral victories, and I think this will actually galvanize the team because Josh Allen and Sean McDermott think it will. I believe in them.
Wow.
Silly, but I believe.
Here's the difference, Wild.
That's true.
Well, here's the difference. New England had a rookie quarterback. New England really wasn't expected to do much this year. At best, make the playoffs. All right, expectations were low. All right,
fair.
Not so in Buffalo. This is not, I'm not even laughing about the Bills. I am disappointed about the Bills. I am ticked off about the Bills. That is an embarrassment, the way they handled themselves in that press conference. Incredible heart and guts. That's what Sean McDermott said. And Josh Allen, super proud. Well, this isn't CYO. This isn't about character development and participation trophies. You are a team that was expected to make the Super Bowl. And you're 7-6, and you're excited about coming close? They didn't show up against the defending Super Bowl champions in a game they had to have. For the second straight game, they gave up about a 50-yard touchdown run, which hardly ever happens in today's NFL. Their vaunted pass defense gave up 363 yards through the air, plus a 58-yard game winner to a receiver that was on the scout team 2 weeks ago. And you're super proud?
All right.
This is ridiculous. The one thing they said that was right, the one accurate thing, Nick, this is who we are. This is who we are. You're darn right. You are a team that beats up on the chumps. But you're 1-4 with 4 straight losses against teams with winning records. This tells me, Nick, quickly before you go, this is who Buffalo is. They are not a team that believes they're the best in the NFL or even the AFC. All right, they are defeated. They're happy now with these little moral victories. I'm off the Bills. I was never really on them, but I'm off them.
They got the same record. Listen, we're almost to the middle of December. They have the same record as the Browns, who we've been filleting all year, and the Broncos. They're all 7-6. So, and I believe it or not, have a few Bills fans that I'm close with, and they are just crushing McDermott last night and today, of McDermott not having him ready to play. That first half was a disaster, and all that's fair and true. But the other element is, and I understand that for some reason, Josh Allen has accomplished so much in this league because last year he was awesome for 3 months, that he's above reproach and criticism. But coming off a game where the game was in your hands in the final minutes and you couldn't get it done against New England, to start this football game the way he and that offense did, 6 drives, 4 punts, a pick, and a field goal, 5 drives of 5 plays or less. For that to be how you start before you get going is a disaster. He's the second highest paid player in league history, and they didn't give him that money because he's a dangerous runner. They gave him that money because he's supposed to be a great passer. And again, he wasn't yesterday. You're 7-6 in a year that you started, what did they start? 4-1? 4-1 with a win over the Chiefs, the Super Bowl favorites. Allen's the MVP favorite. Now you are in a dogfight to make the playoffs. It's a disaster. And I don't know why Buffalo doesn't know it's a disaster. They should know it's a disaster.
Well, Tampa took full advantage. The Bucs now in the mix for the 1 seed and home field. We will talk about that side of it still to come. But right there alongside Tampa in the NFC standings, how about the Green Bay Packers? Was the reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers' 4-touchdown night the best performance of the NFL on Sunday? Oh, we'll talk about it. It's next. First things first on a Monday morning. Time now for eye-openers. And how about Aaron Rodgers? Sunday Night Football, Pack hosting the Bears, reigning MVP, throwing for 341 yards, 4 touchdowns. The quote, "I still own you" encore from Rodgers opened my eyes. But Chris Broussard, who opened yours on Sunday?
Jenna, I'm going to be in San Francisco in that great game against Cincinnati. I could go with tight end George Kittle, who was fantastic, 13 catches, 151 yards, and a great diving, outstretched arms catch late in regulations. But I'm going with the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he's in battle. I know he's beleaguered. I know he's not elite. I know he won't be the 49ers quarterback next season. But Jimmy G wins. Okay, and he showed it last night. I'm going to give him some props. Because last night, after they lost the lead, he leads them with about a minute 19 left on a 50-yard drive to set up a 47-yard field goal in regulation that should have won it. But Robbie Gould misses it. And then, after the Bengals take the lead in overtime with a field goal, he marches 78 yards. Well, 75, but a penalty. He actually marched from 78, 6 for 6, 78 yards passing, and the game-winning touchdown. You saw it to Brandon Ayuk. And look, Nick, you want to poo-poo wins for a quarterback, but let's see the number.
Yes,
Jimmy G wins. Okay. Look at that record while he's in San Francisco. And you want to give all the pub to his teammates, the defense, Kyle Shanahan, the other skilled players. But why, when they don't have Jimmy G, are they a 20% winning team? All right, 7-28 without him. But when he's on the field, magically, they become one of the best teams in the NFL. He's not elite. But I'm going to say this. Next season, if Pittsburgh, somebody's going to get a good quarterback in Jimmy G. If Pittsburgh can't get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G would fit the bill and be great there. So I'm going to give props to Jimmy G. Too beleaguered. Too in battle.
And if I can't get a Dodge Ram or a Benz or a Rolls, I guess this bicycle will do because I don't want to walk. But it doesn't mean it's a good mode of transportation.
Did he lead the team to a Super Bowl? You should love him. He helped your team get the Super Bowl by missing that pass.
He was there. By the way, NFC Super Bowl quarterbacks over, I don't know, the last half decade or so. Not a lot of greatness in there aside from Brady. Matt Ryan was there, Cam was there, Nick Foles was there, Jared Goff was there, Jimmy G was there. Maybe not all that hard. Who knows? You know what? I'm considering a take. Not that hard to quarterback an NFC team to a Super Bowl. Maybe you do have hope in Los Angeles with the Rams. Who knows? But if we show the Broussard's graphic again, I don't know if we can. You were like, oh, why are they so bad when he's not out there? Did you see the names beneath it? I think it was Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard, rookie Trey Lance, and balding Brian Hoyer. That's why, buddy. It's not because Jimmy G's great. It's because, look at that. The who's who of who beneath him. So, listen, I don't have the capability to argue quarterback wins when we are 6 days removed from a guy throwing 3 passes and getting one of those coveted quarterback wins. A day when yesterday Baker Mayfield got a quarterback win. Dak Prescott got a quarterback win. What's up, Broussard?
In the immortal words of Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. Period.
The game.
All right, that's it. And Jimmy G has proven he wins. He wins. This is simply, you'll see next year. You'll see.
Well, then,
you better hold Trey Lance pants out. You better hold Trey Lance pants out.
Then I'm not sure. I'm just curious. I'm not sure why you'd want him. You said if the Steelers can't get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G, you seen Russell Wilson's record this year? Deshaun Watson was 4-12 last year.
He missed
if
3
it's about
games.
wins,
He's been hurt.
I think he's been to a Super Bowl a hell of a lot more recently than either of those guys or Rodgers. You know what? Come to think of it, Been to a Super Bowl more recently than Rodgers. I think he beat Aaron Rodgers in an NFC Championship game. Play to win the game. Jimmy G should be top of the mountain. But I'm going to talk about a quarterback that's actually awesome, not the nonsense of Jimmy G, and that's Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is who the media so desperately pretended Josh Allen was. He is clearly and unquestionably the second best quarterback in the AFC. Sorry, Lamar. He has overtaken you in that regard. And this throw he made yesterday is the best throw of the NFL season by anybody. There are 3 human beings alive that can make this play. Rodgers, Mahomes, and Allen. This is hash to hash across the field with a defender bearing down on him, 60-plus yards in the air. Perfect. Just a perfect throw. So Justin Herbert, who is setting up what is one of the games of the year in the NFL, Thursday night at home against the Chiefs with the AFC West on the line, Justin Herbert reminded everybody how talented he is and how the AFC West for, I don't know, call it the next dozen years, is going to have the AFC's 2 best quarterbacks.
Yeah. On Friday, I think you're going to be singing a different tune about Justin Herbert. Like, oh, man, we knew Justin Herbert was going to do that. Oh, Sorensen, get him out of the game. In any event, my answer is La'el Collins in the Cowboys. Something interesting. I always like to look at the game underneath the game. Cowboys up by 21 here, about 10 minutes left. La'el Collins gets ejected. Oh, that counts as a punch. Somewhere in there. He gets ejected. Here's what he had to say after the game about protecting Dak.
It wasn't really a late hit for me. It was more so like I felt like he was rolling towards Dak's legs and stuff like that. So I just felt like it was just, uncalled for. And, I'm just here to protect my quarterback and, at all costs. And that's the bottom line.
Okay, a few interesting things happening here. One, I like that the Cowboys are sticking up for Dak. At the same time, it feels like we just revealed that Dak is not 100% healthy. It's not like he's purposely headed for his knee. This was just a pure momentum play. So I don't know if he needed to be sort of like taught a lesson. At the same time, here's the other part that's funky about this, Nick. He gets ejected, so poor Dak doesn't have his left tackle or his right tackle in this game. Both guys coming off the bench. Here's what happened afterwards. Cowboys punt, Washington scores, and Dak gets a pick 6. So look, I'm all for protecting Dak and have linemen protect their guy, just like Ali Marpet protects Brady, but you can't get thrown out. You got to stay in. Hard to protect the guy from the locker room. Were you okay with this ejection, Nick?
Well, no, I was fine with what La'el Collins did. This is a terrible ejection. There's no punch. We've watched the whole video. There's no afterwards. There's no punch. They ejected him. They said this here was a punch. That's not a punch.
That looked like a punch.
La'el Collins is not doing an underhand roundhouse. If he wanted to punch, he comes over the top. He's moving his arm up to get to him. That's not a punch.
That's a punch.
It's like the Russell Westbrook.
Give me a break.
It's a dangerous punch,
He's throwing what is he? What is he, a 1910s boxer? He's a 110-round bare knuckle. He's going to do one of those?
This could have escalated into a kerfuffle. You can't have that.
Hey, we're actually going to get
Lucky
to more
a
on-field stuff from the
didn't
Cowboys
break
a
out.
little bit. Still a big win for them thanks to that defense. Let's talk some Chiefs now. They rolled over the Raiders yesterday. Did KC send a strong message to the rest of the league? And if so, what was it? That's next. First things first. Kansas City Chiefs, before kickoff, the Raiders did their pregame speech on the Chiefs logo. Chiefs didn't like it. Here's how they responded. The defense forced 5 turnovers. Patrick Mahomes threw his first 2 touchdowns in almost a month. KC led 35-3 at the half. No more logos. They beat the Raiders 48-9. Now, after the game, this is great. Wheels on the Bus was playing over the PA system at Arrowhead. You know why? Last year's lap around the stadium that the Raiders took after winning.
Yeah.
Mental note for the Raiders. No more pregame speeches on the logo. Here's more now from Patrick Mahomes.
You definitely don't want people coming into your stadium and trying to like disrespect things that you've kind of built. And so for us, just gave us a little bit more motivation to go out there and win against a really good football team that we have a rivalry against that usually is a tough football game. So I think guys were ready to play today, and I think it showed on the field.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes has his swagger back. All right, so here's a playoff picture in the AFC now. Pats, Titans, Chiefs, all 9-4. 4 games remaining. So, Nick, did the Chiefs put the league on notice with this win yesterday?
Oh, they put everyone on notice aside from one person who happens to work on this television show, and he'll speak in just a moment. But before I talk about what the Chiefs did yesterday, I want to look into a crystal ball and tell you something that's going to happen 95 hours and 30 minutes from now. Because at Friday morning, right around 7:30, after the Chiefs beat the Chargers, we're going to show that very graphic. And it's going to show the Kansas City Chiefs alone in first place in the entire conference. And right when we're done showing that graphic, we're going to play a montage. Our wonderful producers, start cutting it now. It's going to start with all the times the Chiefs ridiculously and erroneously showed up on Broussard's Bud list, mainstays of the Bud list. Then we are going to have a supercut of Wild's favorite stat that he somehow must have forgotten over the last month, which is 17. Hold on, let me do the real Wilds. Hold on 1 second. All right, now I can do it. 17 of the last 20 Super Bowl losers have gone on to not win a playoff game. Then we're going to play clips of Mahomes is broken. The Chiefs are flailing. They can't stop turning the ball over. Wilds, look at me when I'm talking to you. Get back on the screen, please. Thank you, sir. This is about you. This is about you, pal. Listen, so all of this, because what do you want? Well, you want him to hold another team to single digits? Check. You want him to score the most points anyone in the NFL has scored all year, except for games involving the Jets? Check. You want Mahomes to play a perfect game? Check. What do you want? To admit, my friend Kevin Wilds, they are clearly the AFC favorites. They overcame the rocky start, the toughest schedule in the entire league, and they sit there tied for first in the conference and will be in first by themselves in less than 5 days. What else do you want to see, my friend?
Okay. Broussard, I'm going to need your support here because what I'm about to say is going to hurt people's feelings and is patently unfair, but it's also 100% true. I wasn't wildly impressed. Oh, Wilds, that's ridiculous.
You're so dumb.
Just hear me out.
He's so
Just
dumb.
hear me out.
Broussard, we work
This
with
happens
a dumb
sometimes,
guy.
man. This,
I don't
Broussard,
wanna hear
I'm
you.
sorry, this happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. You know what happens, what I feel bad for? And I asked Dusty about this. I said, Dusty, do you ever watch a guy juggle chainsaws? He's like, yeah. Like, don't you see that guy so badly wants you to be impressed? Like the chainsaws are going and they're being juggled, and you just sit back, you're like, not bad. And the chainsaw guy's like, what? They're live chainsaws. And you're like, I know, but, feels like that's something you can do. I'm just not wildly impressed, that's all. And here's why, Broussard. Since week 7, the Chiefs have scored 82 points against the Raiders on offense. Against everyone else, the 5 other games, they've scored 71 points. They've had 7 takeaways against the Raiders. They've had 10 takeaways against everybody else. I get it. It is patently unfair that I am not impressed that the Chiefs seem to have the Raiders' number. It's just the truth. If they beat the Chargers, I will be thoroughly impressed because I think Herbert is amazing. But I'm sorry. The Chiefs are like the guys juggling chainsaws. As good as it looks, there's still something about it that I'm not impressed by.
All right, Wilds, I would love to side with you, especially since Nick disrespected the motivational tactics and powers of the Bud list. Nick, you think Mahomes' little 13-yard pass on 3rd down, I think it was, that you credited for their turnaround. It was my tough love. It was my putting him on the Bud list and criticizing them and saying you're better than that, more so than it was your pats on the back, your attaboys and all that got them going. So I'm offended that you would criticize the Bud list and throw it in there with Wilds' criticism. Secondly, I have a name. I've never heard this before. You guys got to let me know. We know the term pick six, right? I'm coming up with a term for the first play of the game, Mike Hughes' touchdown on the fumble recovery. How about a rip six? Has anybody heard that? Maybe that's common. Anybody heard that? A rip six? Okay. That's a rip. Isn't that beautiful? Rip six. You open the game with a rip six. So, all right. So, Nick, as much as you insulted the Bud list, I am with you to a degree. They did not prove they're the team to beat in the NFL yet, but they certainly proved, Wilds, I'm sorry, that they are the team to beat in the AFC. Because every other contender in the AFC is inconsistent, right? Except your Patriots, and maybe the Colts, but, you know, they got to prove some stuff more. But the Patriots, and look, as much as I like Mac Jones, he's nowhere near Patrick Mahomes. So I am going with the Chiefs big time in that matchup. And, Nick, here's the thing about your Chiefs. I'll give them credit because that defense was criticized beyond measure early in the season, right through the first 7 weeks or so. They were getting destroyed. And they answered the bell. I know they went out and got Melvin Ingram, Chris Jones, Frank got healthy, right?
Clark.
But they have emerged as they're not just a great defense due to your little finagling with the stats. They have proven to me that they are now a legitimately great defense. And with Mahomes' consistency, you know, as far as check downs, he's a little more patient. They make longer drives rather than just, you know, these huge, you know, chunk plays all the time. I think the running game will continue to improve with Edwards-Helaire back. They could be, if this defense is for real, they could be more dangerous than some of those highlight, you know, factory teams they had the past couple years because they may be more balanced.
It's more than that. No. I'll take a step further. This is the most dangerous Chiefs team ever. With respect to Lynn Dawson, with respect to the great defenses of the 90s, with respect to Priest Holmes and Tony Gonzalez in the early 2000s, and with respect to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill and the offense-only teams the last couple of years, this is the most dangerous Chiefs team we've ever seen. Because Mahomes is rounding into form. They were up 35-0. You can poo-poo wins over the Raiders all you want. Fact of the matter is this. When the Raiders don't play the Chiefs, they're 6-5. Just like every team on the Chiefs' schedule this year, aside from the Giants, when they don't play the Chiefs, they have a winning record. They're 500 or above. They've had the toughest schedule in football. They right now have the best defense the last 2 months. They were up 35-0, 28 minutes into the game, and Wilds has decided it's unimpressive, comparing it to juggling chainsaws, which I would love to know how the chainsaw juggler feels about you going goo-goo gaga over someone attempting to juggle 2 tennis balls next to him, dropping one of them, and you saying, you know what, Mac? That's a moral victory. That's a moral victory juggling performance. You know as well as I do, the entire league, once again, we're going to go back to how we started. Every team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, can draft their Super Bowl opponent, who's their last pick. The Packers can draft their Super Bowl opponent. The Patriots can draft who they play in their first playoff game. Who is their last pick? Everyone's last pick is the Chiefs. And I can't think of a single thing, aside from, I guess you could say, the coaching edge, but if you want to talk on the field, the Patriots do better than the Chiefs. There haven't been a better defense than them for 2 months. And Wilds just flippantly was like, well, over the last 8 games, if you take out 2 games, they only have forced 10 They forced 10 turnovers in the other 5 games they played, buddy. That's pretty good. That's 2 turnovers a game. That'll play. Sure. Mahomes completing 82% of his passes. That'll play. It'll all play. But that's fine. We can continue this charade as if they haven't been the best team in football for a month now. We can keep it going. It's fun. It adds some intrigue to the show, but I'm interested in see how long we can keep it going, Wilds.
Well, I think it's Thursday, Jenna. It's going to be Thursday night with Justin Herbert, so tune in on Friday.
It's 95 hours away. Okay. 95 hours away, Chiefs and Chargers. Fox game, by the way, Thursday night. All right, time for Nick to hand out some NBA medals. Busy weekend. Magic, Lakers last night. LeBron James with a triple-double. Was putting in the work on defense as well. A couple of big blocks from him. Lakers won, but Bron just missed out on a medal. Nick, which three guys were podium-worthy performers this weekend?
LeBron was spectacular Friday, even better Sunday, the oldest player ever with a 30-point triple-double, passing Kobe for that, but does not make the medal stand because much like your humble host, the medal stand drips with objectivity. Jokic, though, does make it. How about the Joker? Listen, team's not very good. He is very good. 35, 17, and 8. But, Nick, you said he was the worst MVP since Dave Cowens, and I stand by that. That was last year. This is this year. Jokic gets a bronze. Silver medal. Is Giannis going to finish his career as one of the 10 best players ever? Fun fact here. In 9 years, Giannis will be younger than LeBron is currently. He's got a lot of ground ahead of him. A nice little 41, 17, and 5 against the, up to that point, red-hot Rockets snapping their winning streak. And then the gold. Easy money sniper. 51 points. The day he finds out he gets $25,000 stolen from him. Listen, KD, by stolen from him, I mean the league stole it from him. KD, I got your back, man. Tell those courtside fans to bleep off whenever you want. I'll split the fine with you. I actually won't, but Rich Kleiman will. Kevin Durant, 51 points. He gets the gold. There it is, your medal stand in the NBA.
That was entertaining. Good stuff. We got to take a turn back to our top story. Time for Buffalo to hit the panic button after that tough loss to Tampa yesterday. That's next. First things first. Mike Vick back with us on a Monday morning. Dallas Cowboys flying in their own logoed heated benches for the big game with Washington because they heard the bench heaters sometimes wore out at FedEx Field. Hey, every detail matters when your head coach guarantees a win. So the players were warm and their defense was hot. Rookie Micah Parsons, 2 more sacks and a forced fumble on the day as Dallas holds off a late Washington rally to win 27-20. So the Cowboys get the win, yes, but Dak didn't play particularly well. 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and a passer rating just south of 60. Broussard, you still believe Dak can lead the Cowboys on a deep run the way he's been playing lately?
Lead? No. All right, and he is a leader, and he is their team leader, and I think he's a great leader. But I'm defining lead like this. You put the team on your back, and you will throw them to victory when all else fails, like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady, like Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Dak is there. And I made a mistake early in the year. I elevated him from, I always thought of him as a game manager who could make plays with his legs and at times with his arms. And I elevated him earlier in the season to an elite level quarterback, meaning I thought he could carry them with his arm now to victory, but now that was premature. He may get there. I still think he could get there in the future, but right now he's still more of a game manager who has the ability to make plays here and there with both his arms and his legs. And Mike, you brought this up in the last segment. Last year, when everyone was going goo-goo gaga over Dak's passing numbers before he got hurt, 470 yards, 500 yards, those were in losses where they were down big and they came back in the second half against defenses that had gotten soft because they had big leads. And I was like, that doesn't tell me anything. But when he did it earlier this year against Tampa, and he actually had a big game against New England, I thought, okay, he's arrived. But we've seen, now maybe it's because of the calf injury. I don't know. But for whatever reason, we've seen over the past month and a half that he's been back that he can't carry them without the run game anymore. So now we're kind of back to where we were a couple years ago, where you need Zeke and Tony Pollard to get you some yardage on the ground, and then Dak can win you games maybe deep into the playoffs. But right now with Zeke and Pollard banged up, no running game to speak of, Mike, I don't think Dak can just put you on his back and carry you to victory deep into the playoffs.
Now, I agree with you, Chris. I mean, this is the time of the year where running the football, controlling the clock, and playing defense is probably the most prominent thing that you can do as a football team. And yesterday's game for Dak was probably one of his toughest, and even the offense in general, because, one, your coach guaranteed a victory. So now offense, we must score points in order to win the game. The defense, they can go out, they can be rambunctious, they can fly around, and it's less pressure on them. So I seen Dak yesterday making some errant throws and trying to force some balls into tight coverages, trying to make plays and trying to build the lead. And that's normal, but he trying to live up to the hype. He trying to live up to the hype that the coach had built and anticipated for this team. So, you know, they got away with a win. It was a big win. But as far as moving forward in the NFC, I see teams like Arizona and Green Bay and Tampa just getting better and better on both sides of the ball. So at some point, the Cowboys got to match up.
And listen, there's something wrong with Dak. And we can talk about, is he still hurt? I don't know. I know the numbers would suggest he is. But we can show it. Pre and post ankle injury, calf injury, pardon me. It's jarring. I mean, he was a legit MVP candidate up until the win to beat the Patriots. And then since then, statistically speaking, he's been one of the 6 or 7 least effective quarterbacks in the league. Now, maybe it's coincidence, or maybe he's not actually 100% or even close to it. The other thing that's happened this year, and this was trending towards this before he suffered the calf injury, maybe as a result of the injury he suffered last year, Dak doesn't run anymore. Dak, up until this year, every season ran for right around 300 yards. Yesterday, when he had that 11-yard run, it was shocking. It's like, oh, Dak ran the ball. He's got around 100 rushing yards this year. So that part of his game is gone. But the most concerning thing of it all, Wilds, is that pick 6 at the end can't happen. That game is over. The only reason you call a pass play there is because you trust your quarterback that if he doesn't have a layup, he'll just go down. Like, taking a sack there is fine. You're up 2 scores, there's 4 minutes left. You just want the clock to keep running. Now, should they have called a run play? Maybe, but you call a pass play there because you're like, okay, it's either going to be an easy completion or Dak will just go down. This is the only thing you can't do. The only reason Washington had a chance was because of that play right there. So, of course, Dallas won. Washington's quarterbacks were a combined 15 of 34 with 3 turnovers, like a 52 rating combined. It was awful offense by both teams, if we're being honest. And Cowboys defense deserves credit. But Dak, how could I believe in Dak right now, given what we've seen since he came back from the calf injury?
All right, so I want to dig into the injury part, because I thought there was a play that showed, the Cowboys are worried about Dak too. So you think about an offensive line where that gets a little rambunctious about protecting their quarterback. The team that you think about is the Bucs. Like, don't hit our old man quarterback who our whole season rides on. They are up in guys' faces. So Dak gets pushed out of bounds here. La'el Collins comes over and gives a little right uppercut there. He ends up getting ejected. Mike, here's what he said after the game. I want you to listen to it, because he said he wasn't worried about the late hit. If we have the sound, if he was actually worried about having King roll into Dak. Take a listen.
It wasn't really the late hit for me. It was more so like I felt like he was rolling towards Dak's legs and stuff like that. So I just felt like it was just, uncalled for. And, I'm just here to protect my quarterback and, at all costs. And that's the bottom line.
Now, Mike, I like that usually, but he was not purposely rolling into Dak's legs. He's running full speed and was just that was where momentum. So Collins' reaction here makes me think in addition to Nick's stat panel, that Dak is more hurt than we're leading on. What's your take on the potential for Dak to be seriously kind of not himself, let's say?
Compromise.
There we go. Thank you, buddy.
Well, Nick said something earlier that I totally agree with. If Dak just commits to the run a little bit, he opens up the defense a lot more, and he gives himself more options. He gives the offense more options. And by Dak slowing down, trying to pull up, and trying to make a throw, you know, the defense is in hot pursuit. So at some point, they're going to catch up with you and make some sort of contact. Now, I do like, you know, his offensive lineman coming to his aid. My guys used to do that for me all the time. If you'd have did that to me, Jason Peters would have been right there, you know, confronting any linebacker, defensive back, or D lineman to put his hands on me. If he felt like, you know, it was egregious, he coming after you. So I like that part of it, but I do want to see Dak more aggressive. I do want to see Dak just kind of let go, unless he's hurt, you know, put more pressure on the defense and maybe, you know, try to rack up maybe 40 or 50 yards per game to loosen up the defense.
All right, well, not to be lost with Dak's subpar performance, Cowboys actually won the game. So we'll talk about what that means coming up in a little bit. We got to talk some Aaron Rodgers now. Was the reigning MVP's 4-touchdown night the best performance on NFL Sunday? Break it down next. First things first. How about the quarterback matchup in this one? Thursday Night Football, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Justin Herbert and the Chargers. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Well, Thursday Night Football, only on Fox. Stories to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Fox and NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. I don't know why I said that. Bucs and Bills, a wild one down in Tampa. This one went to overtime, and that's when Brady did what Brady does. Tom Brady finds Brashad Perriman his first catch of the day. It was a big one. The crosser, 58 yards for the win. Brady had a big one, 363 yards, 3 total touchdowns, no interceptions. That beautiful pass to win it in overtime. 33. Oh, Tom Brady, his dad, so happy. 33-27 the final. Wiles, did Brady have his MVP moment yesterday?
100%, Jenna. 100%. Tom Brady is your MVP. He's got the moment, he's got the stats, and he's got the momentum. Just like guys have Heisman moments, this was the MVP moment. If there was any doubt, people can think back and say, oh, yeah. Remember when it was never really in doubt when Tom Brady got the ball in overtime? And he's got the stats, too. He's number 1 in yards. He's number 1 in touchdowns. And he's got the momentum. Last year, obviously, Rodgers won the MVP, but everyone's like, you know what? Brady probably actually deserves the MVP. The guy's 18-3 since the bye week, and he got that Sports Illustrated award. Now, Broussard, people on this show will say, you know what? Patrick Mahomes deserves to be in the conversation. Well, you know what? I'm in the conversation for tallest in my family. I'm not, but I'm in the conversation. So, yes, Brady is your MVP, and I admit it. Broussard called this very, very early on. It was going to be a foot race between Jameis and Brady, and Broussard, you were correct.
That's why I'm wearing the shades, Wiles. You guys know how much I hate to say I told you so on this show. I just despise it. But I did. It's just a fact. I told you so. In the preseason, I said, Tommy, don't give me that Jameis stuff. Jameis was my dark horse MVP. My MVP preseason was Brady, and you mocked me even for that. Oh, he's 44. Oh, he's not going to win it again. Father Time might show up. Oh, he rests on his laurels. They just won the Super Bowl. But I stuck with my guns, and Tom Brady is going to be the MVP. Now, I will say this, because I'm the voice of reason. I'm the elder statesman. Nick's up here. He's down here. Wiles is, hilarious and all that. I'm the voice of reason. There are 4 weeks left, okay? So, Wiles, you're right. Look, he looks great. He's leading the league in touchdowns, leading the league in yards. The team might have the best record, in a few weeks. All of that. And he's got the narrative, the age, just the legend. All of that is with him. But Aaron Rodgers is chasing, okay? Brady can't stumble. He's got to continue to play well. He can't, yesterday, the Bills thought they did something. But really what happened was Brady and the Buccaneers let the foot off the gas. So don't let the foot off the gas, Tom. You will get your MVP again. Nick, it's Brady. Like I told you, you said 20-0. That was wrong. I said Brady. That's going to be right.
Okay. All right, so a few things here. Right now, this moment,
not cheap ones,
if it was voted on, it would be Brady.
Good to know.
But there is a quarter of the season, a little bit less because 17 games now, left, and a lot can change. With all that said, I don't think right now it should be Brady. I think he would win it, but right now the MVP should be Rodgers. Rodgers not only has been better, Rodgers has been, we got proof positive of his value. Like, you guys have, the two folks in the middle of the screen have just made it a truth not to be argued. That if Aaron Rodgers had played against the Chiefs, the Packers would have won. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that, but I know the right side of the screen believes it. So we saw a Packers team that this year has been phenomenal, has lost 3 games all year, but only 2 quarterbacked by Rodgers. And the one game he wasn't there, they struggled to score 1 touchdown. Additionally, Rodgers has done it against a far tougher schedule in far more difficult conditions. And so I understand the anger towards Rodgers from some members of the media because he lied and because of all the nonsense surrounding the vaccination. He has been, if it's about value, he's been the most valuable player in the league, and I think he's been as, if not more, outstanding than Brady. But I do want to respond to something Wildes said, because I wasn't going to bring up Patrick Mahomes, but Wildes did, so I will respond to it. If any other quarterback in the league had the Mahomes statistical profile on this winning streak, he would absolutely be in the conversation. There is no question about it. If there was a quarterback in the league that was top 5 in yards, top 5 in touchdowns, had won 6 in a row, and just hung 48 in a perfectly played football game on a team that, when they're not playing the Chiefs, has a winning record, a divisional rival, the narrative would be, if Josh Allen and the Bills keep this going and end up as the 1 seed, they could be the MVP. You know why I know that? Because that's exactly what happened last year. And Josh Allen ended up finishing 2nd in it. So the only reason Mahomes is, in your mind, Wildes, out of the conversation is because we're judging him not against other guys from this year. You're judging him against other Mahomes years. But if it's based on this year alone, if the Chiefs end the season winning 10 in a row and as the 1 seed, and Mahomes finishes 3rd in yards and 2nd in touchdowns, of course he will warrant real consideration for league MVP. I don't even see an argument against that, Wildes.
Okay, what is real consideration? 3rd in yards, 3rd in touchdowns. What's Brady? Oh, 1st in yards, 1st in touchdowns. Okay, consideration over.
Yeah.
I don't understand the value of being in the conversation and better record. Like, you want to be in the conversation. The conversation's like 20 seconds. It's like when my kids ask if we can put, a pool inside the house. Like, no. Like, well, we had a conversation about it, Billy. I tried to ask Dad, can you put a pool in the house? He said no. Like, all right, you're in the conversation. So the answer's no.
No. So I'm just curious, Bruce Harden. I'll ask you. So you think that it's a 2-man race from now into the end of the year? Like, because Brady is not guaranteed to stay 1st in yards and 1st in touchdowns, and the Bucs are not guaranteed. Like, so you think it's down to 2 people no matter what? Wildes does. Wildes thinks it's Brady and Rodgers, and really just Brady. The conversation's over.
Here's what I'll give you, Nick. It's not over. I mean, there's a quarter of the season left to be played, all right? But I do think it's Brady 1. If we're talking about quarterbacks, right? Brady 1, Rodgers 2, and I'm going to give you this, Nick, Mahomes 3. I agree with your points. Like, he's not – now, I don't see him winning it because I don't see either of those 2 guys ahead of him really totally falling off. but I do think he is third now in the conversation. But Brady, look, you brought up Rodgers. Brady's averaging 50 more yards per game, Nick, than Aaron Rodgers. How is it? And he's got more touchdowns.
Because of the style
They've
of
got
how
the
they
same
play.
record. Who's got the best receiver? Devontae Adams is the best receiver of the bunch.
Yeah, but
Come on,
okay,
like,
yes, but
really?
the Bucs have more weapons.
It's
To me,
not
I don't
Brady.
think it's. And Brady also has more than double the picks of Rodgers. I think statistically speaking, it's very close between those two. Mahomes, obviously, statistically speaking, is short of those two at the moment. But I would remind, when Wild says, "What's the point of being in the conversation?" Last year, with a month to go, Aaron Rodgers had not the best MVP odds, not the second best MVP odds, had the third best MVP odds, and he ended up winning it running away. So the value of being in the conversation, Jenna, is you might end the conversation by the end of the year.
I'm ending the conversation. Undisputed starts right now. We'll see you tomorrow.